that's all of them. Here I just want to share a little bit of my top 10 monsters from the older generations that I really want to see in Monster Hunter Wilds and why they deserve that spot. Number 10 is Seltas and Seltas Queen. The main reasons why I want these two because I don't think I've ever seen any monsters that utilizes other monsters as part of their moveset, maybe except Ragnakadaki, but Ragnakadaki uses a small monster, while Seltas Queen using Seltas, and Seltas is a large monster. And the second reason would be, in the new generation game, I don't think we have seen any insect monsters. Well, Ragnakadaki is a spider, not exactly an insect. So having to see more than just wyvern monsters is quite an urgent thing in Monster Hunter in my opinion. And number 9 will be Najarala. The overall reason is pretty much the same as Seltas and Seltas Queen. In terms of monster type, we haven't seen that much snake-like looking monsters. And in a new gen game, I understand the concern that probably Najarala would be difficult for Monster Hunter World and Monster Hunter Rise because the skeletons might not interact well with the environment. But hopefully with Monster Hunter Wilds, with the scales of the games that we're expecting it to be very large, sooner or later, they really need to add more snake-looking monsters and less about wyvern monsters or dragons. And honestly, fighting this guy is pretty fun since their body is so long, and you need to be careful so that they don't end up coiling around you too much. So yeah, more snakes monsters definitely deserve a spot in Monster Hunter Wilds in my opinion. Number 3 is Zamtrios. Just like previous monsters, I think fish-looking monsters are not like players' favorite because they can be quite annoying. But Zamtrios, its fight is pretty fun. It's not every day you can see a fish that looks like a shark bloated itself and becomes like a balloon. Plus, it's really satisfying when you manage to deflate Zamtrios from its bloated state into its normal state. It's like poking in a very large balloon. It's just very satisfying. He deserves a spot in this list, that's for sure. Number 7 will be the all-time fans' favorite, Lagiacrus, however you want to pronounce this awesome monster's name. I didn't put it that high on the list, like it's not like my number 1 or anything because we've been getting quite good Leviathan monsters in Rise, like Almudron was pretty good, Mitsune was done pretty well. This guy is just very cool, but his gameplay needs a lot of fine-tuning because he is the most fun and scariest when you fight him underwater. So if there's no underwater combat in Monster Hunter Wilds, that means his moveset really needs a lot of work. He's awesome, all hunters really wants him to come back. Here's hoping that the problem with his model back in Monster Hunter World is fixed now. My number 6 spots will be Nibelsnarf. Yeah, you hear me right. This monster is super weird, in a good way. Not every day you see a giant mouth is chasing you from under the ground and it's trying to eat you. And his fight is super fun. You can kite him to eat a bomb and make it explode on its mouth. And then you can fish this monster out of the ground so you can deal as much damage as possible. If Monster Hunter Wilds makes monster to be very hard to detect and allow them to sneak on players more, I think Nibelsnarf would be a very good target to bring back. Like imagine you're gathering something and all of a sudden a giant mouth comes under you and try to eat you. This monster has a lot of potential. Totally deserve to be on the list. And number 5 would be Duramboros. This is just one of my favorite monsters in terms of gameplay and how you fight him. It's not every day you get the feeling of this oh shit moment in the newer Monster Hunter games, like how Duramboros did it back in old gen Monster Hunter. Imagine a monster you're fighting, it starts spinning slowly, it keeps going faster and faster, and then launches itself into the air to flatten you. Basically, it makes itself as a hammer throw. What's very exciting about this fight, as I remember with my friends, the moment that it starts spinning, we were like, oh shit, here we go again. And in G rank, the pattern of how long it will keep spinning differs. So you have to guess whether you should take the risk and try to close in and prevent it from launching itself to the air, or run away to safety. Overall, it was just a very fun fight, and I think it's totally deserved to be in this list. Hey, are you liking what you heard so far? Please do leave a like and subscribe to my channel so that you can be notified for my videos, or at least show up in your front page, because I really want to discuss more about Monster Hunters with fellow Monster Hunter fans. I always learn new few things about Monster Hunter from the comment section on my videos. I am making a lot of Monster Hunter videos until Monster Hunter Wilds come out. Anyway, I digress for too long. Let's get back to the list. 4 will be Gameth, the last member of the Fated 4 that still hasn't come to new generation Monster Hunter. His fight overall is pretty fun. He has tons of health, that's for sure. You need to be extra careful when fighting really close to him, and also since he's big, hitting him is actually very satisfying. Since when you compare it with other Fated 4, the other 3 are so hard to hit sometimes. Astalos and Mitsune are so fast and keeps moving around, and Glavenus is just hard to hit with certain weapons. Plus, not every day we're fighting a freaking elephant in Monster Hunter games. You definitely deserve to make a return in Monster Hunter Wilds. And my number 3, these are 2 monsters. I don't mind bringing either of them back in Monster Hunter Wilds. If both of these 2 monsters come out, it will be dope as fuck. Since I think these 2 monsters were quite a fan favorite in the older gen Monster Hunter games. Since both in World and Rise, I think they are still lacking on colossal monsters arena fight. I love this kind of fight because it's just you and the monsters. And fighting a colossal monsters feels different from actually fighting normal sized monsters in the arena. If there are some endgame bosses that deserve to be brought back, it's definitely these 2 because they're not Elder Dragons either. I really have big hopes for this too. And number 2 will be Gogmazios. I think this is maybe the creepiest monster ever existed in Monster Hunter. Imagine you're seeing a monster covered in tar with a giant ass dragon knitter stuck on its back. This is still one of the best designed monster in Monster Hunter series in my opinion. And this guy is not a pushover either. If I remember correctly, why I really love this fight because you need a balanced approach when you're fighting Gogmazios. You can't be too close to him for too long because of the tars are all over the place, and you might need to use the siege weapons to help you. And he can also cause explosion around himself with his beams, so staying around him is not very advisable. I still think he's one of the harder monster fights in the Monster Hunter series. And the last game that he appeared was Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, not even in Generation Ultimate, so he totally deserves to make a return. And the number 1 spot belongs to... for sure, Dalamadur. This boss fight is just so fucking cool. Because he's so big, you can fight different parts of his body at the same time. You can hit its tail, or you can hit its body. And sometimes, when it is about to attack with his head, you need to pay attention. And if you manage to dodge the attack from its head, you can deal quite a bit of damage. So it will test your surrounding awareness and also making the best opportunity during the hunt. And the act of climbing its body makes you feeling the tension quite a bit when you fight it for the first time. Its fight might be quite old compared to how modern hunting feels, but if the key concept of the hunt is being kept and making the fight to be face-by-face fight, much like Fatalis fight back in Monster Hunter World or Amatsu in Monster Hunter Rise, if it's done correctly, I guarantee it could be one of the best Monster Hunter experience you could have, since you're taking down a titan of a snake for God's sake. And yes, I'm super biased with this monster since Dalamadur is my favorite monster of all time. Well, that's the list of my top 10 favorite monsters from older generations that should be brought into the newer system, hopefully Monster Hunter Wilds. By now, most people would question, what about White Fatalis and Crimson Fatalis? Oh boy, they totally deserve in this list. These 2 are a must-have monsters, so they're actually higher in my priority list than these top 10 monsters. Heck, even add Dire Moralis on top of that, since all Black Dragon monsters really deserve to get the new generation treatment, and always keep them as the final boss of the series. Not story final boss, but the true final boss, because they are the Black Dragons. Anyway, that's all I would like to say. If you like what you heard, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I upload Monster Hunter videos discussion every week, be it a long videos or a rant video. So by you supporting me Eventually, I would be able to pump more content faster and higher in frequency. Until the next video, stay sharp, hunters.